next.
So now you all have generated a hypothesis what you think is going to happen regarding the effective temperature on gas production in yeast. Now we'll do an experiment to see if your hypothesis is correct by growing the yeast and measuring the gas production at 3 different temperatures. Room temperature, on ice, and this warm water bath I have back here behind me. We want to start by doing a control in each one of those cases. We're going to use molasses, the food that the yeast are going to use, and these fermentation vessels. A little bit hard to pour out of that big bottle. I'm going to pour out of this beaker instead. And I want to fill the vessel up so this vertical part is full of molasses. I'll rock it back and forth to get the air out. Still a big air bubble there. Put in some more molasses. There, now I have one that's molasses all the way to the top. I'm going to make 3 of them just like that. One for each one of those conditions. So this is a control. We're looking at the effect of temperature on gas production by yeast. So if we don't have any yeast in there, we wouldn't expect there to be any gas production at all. We should include that as a control in the experiment to make sure that is in fact true. There's 1, 2, I'm going to make a 3rd one here. A little bit of an air bubble in that one. I'll rock it back and forth one more time. Now I have 3 of them. I'll deal with them in just a second. In the experiment, we want to do the same experiment, but include yeast with the molasses. So I have a jar of yeast here. This is just like yeast you might use at home for making bread or pizza crust. Dump it in with that molasses and let it settle for a few minutes. And with these controls, I'm going to put the letter C on each one. If we were in the classroom, I'd ask each one of you to put your initials on there too. And I would make these controls. And I'm going to have one in each of our 3 conditions. One of them I'll leave here at room temperature. One of them I'll put in this ice bath. And one of them I'll put in this warm water bath I have here behind me. It's set at 34 degrees Celsius, a little bit more than room temperature is. Now I've got the molasses with the yeast in it. It's well dispersed now. I'll use my little beaker again to pour it. I'll fill up 3 of these fermentation flasks now with molasses and yeast. It smells good. It smells like I'm making beer. And fill these 3 up the same way. No air bubble at the top. There's one. Here's another. A little bit more here. If you have to do this in the classroom, I would probably let that yeast and molasses mix a little bit longer so it'd be very homogeneous. One of these I'll leave at room temperature next to that control. One of them I'll put here in the ice bath. And the last one I'll put back over here in the warm water bath so we can incubate at a higher temperature. And now I'll wait about an hour and a half and we'll see what happens.